Okay, hello and welcome to the weather update. It's 10 p.m., May 26th, 2020, and we actually had a fairly sunny day today. Despite the fact that there was some clouds in the morning, they kind of broke up and we had a mostly sunny afternoon across much of Long Island. And then the clouds kind of started coming back in toward the evening, and then they kind of roll back in. These are like the fog clouds because the dew points are higher than the water temperature, so you're getting this fog that's developing offshore. And if we look at some of the current observations, you'll see it is a bit humid out there, although not that hot. So it's generally around 60 degrees, upper 50s, and of course, look where it's warm. Lakehurst, 68. It's still 68 there. Wow. So holding on to the heat in Jersey, no surprise there. Let's look at some of the current observations right now across our area. So Farmingdale, let's see, 61 degrees, 2.57. Let's see what Farmingdale got up to today. 73. Okay, that's not too bad. Like I said, it wasn't that warm today. It was, fortunately, we had a good onshore flow, kept the temperatures down. 59 degrees. You see 59 and 59. That's why they're reporting fog at Islip. 72 at Islip. So that's generally what the highs were on Long Island. Let's see what the city did, though. I'm sure it was warmer in the city. We'll see what the city got up to today. 78. Yeah, a lot warmer in the city. No surprise there. So a lot closer to 80 degrees. And I'm sure if we go to New Jersey, probably hit 80 in Toms River, probably, or better. Let's see what they got. And right now in Toms River, it's down to 60. Let's see what they got up to. Oh, 77. Still warmer than here, but it looks like the sea breeze tried to even get in there a little bit and keep things a little cooler for them. So let's just go back to this. I want to see what the high was. Let's see if we can get the report for Carl Place and see what the high was in Carl Place today. That's our closest station. That's the closest station to Mineola. So let's see what the high was there. 75. So it got up to 75, and then it dropped off as the afternoon went on. But still a lot cooler on the South Shore, which is the place to be. Around this time, you see it's still reading 71. South Shore was in the mid-60s around 6 o'clock. It was delightful. So let's take a look. I was on the South Shore today, and it was wonderful. And I'll have a video of the Massapequa Preserve later. So let's go to the National Hurricane Center because I think we have an area of interest off the coast of Florida. So there's a disturbance, 30% chance of cyclone formation. This is an elongated area of low pressure located near the northeast Florida coast and an upper level disturbance. And this is like a whole area of showers that have been hanging around that whole area. If we were to pull this out and look at the radar, which is what we're going to do right now. Let me not overload this. Let's look at the radar here. We'll put the radar on. You'll be able to see that southern Florida has been dealing with this extended period of rain, onshore rain, associated with this upper level disturbance that's been over us, or low. This could become something weak. Now, if we go out to the west, you'll see lots of red flag warnings in effect and heat advisories because it's hot there. Even in Flagstaff, it's not going to be that cool. It's going to get into the 80s in Flagstaff for the next couple of days. It'll actually be hotter in Flagstaff than it will be in New York City, which is kind of unusual for May. So let's go look at the models and see where this all takes us because we'll start with the upper levels. So let's go to the upper levels. We're looking at the AT&Z GFS. So let's so you see that ridge over us there. There's that ridge that's bringing us the warmth. The ridge is strongest in southeast Canada, where they're way warmer than we are actually. We got the onshore flow. They got the west flow, or the southwest flow, and they're going to be dealing with that. So there's that ridge still with us. Then it starts moving offshore, and then here comes this trough. It's going to dive down. Pretty big one, too, for the last weekend of May. That's going to bring us some cooler weather. And that cooler weather is probably going to linger into a good part of the first week of June. But then we see that ridge build again. And that'll lead to warmer temperatures. But look, another trough dives down again. So that's good to see. We want to see those troughs keep coming in. You don't want to have a stagnant ridge and heat waves. So right now, this is not a pattern that's favorable for heat waves. We can look at the European model too as well. I'm sure we'll see an agreement on that as well. So let's get this weekend here. Oh, that was last weekend. So here comes that trough on the euro. Here it comes. Going to bring us some cool. Looks like the euro wants to develop a coastal low and then cut it off. Wasn't that interesting? That might just be some kind of weird anomaly there. If that would have happened, next week would be very cool. If that would have happened, I'm not necessarily buying that at all. I don't know why the euro is doing that. Let's see if it did it on the previous run. Let's see. Yeah, it did it on the previous run too. That's interesting that the euro is indicating that, because the GFS is not indicating that at all. Let me go to the 12Z Monday euro. Okay, so the euro's been kind of insistent on this forming something offshore and getting cut off, I guess, for the past couple of runs. I guess I didn't look at the euro in the last weather update, because usually you don't see a major disagreement like that. But you know, that leads to vastly different solutions. So when we'll go back to the surface here, and we'll look at what our surface looks like in the actually, let me go to the CONUS view here. So we'll look at the surface view on the GFS as we go through this week, and it would be nice if it would load. Let's go start back to where we are right now, which is all the way over here. Okay. So we stay dry tomorrow. We still have that southerly flow, but we're going to be dealing with the clouds. And then we'll see more in the way of clouds on Thursday, and that front gets closer. And there'll probably be rain to the west of us. And then we're still waiting for that cold front on Friday. Very strong southwesterly flow on Friday. You can see the isobars getting tighter. And here comes that front, comes through. GFS wants to hang it up a little bit because there's a ridge there, so we may have a chance of some severe weather Saturday if it gets hung up and there's still enough heat around. Otherwise, we push that front offshore Sunday, and the GFS does form this low along the front, but it stays offshore. Got a cool high building down. That's what it does for much of the first week of June. And then there is that tropical system again, and it keeps popping up in some form or another on these runs, and we're going to have to see. You can see that it doesn't really do anything to this system off Florida. But this system just keeps forming, and this would be, it barely moves it at all. So very unusual to see that. But you can see that we have highs coming down, which would definitely bring cooler weather in the northeast. So we will go ahead and look at the temperature forecast now and see what we have coming as far as the heat comes. So the heat goes. So let's see what we got here. So tomorrow it's going to probably be similar to today. Cooler on Long Island and then hotter inland. Same idea. Actually, it has a cooler on Thursday because there'll be a lot more clouds around it. Thursday could be overcast. And then for Friday, we have the temperatures still not that hot, but we're going to be dealing with the humidity. Here comes that front. See, it's not that hot, though, but it'll depend on the humidity. And then we cool off for Sunday and Monday, only around 70. First week of June looks cool and a little below normal, as you see here. But then things start heating up once we get to that first weekend of June. We get into the 80s and maybe some 90s over New Jersey, perhaps. That's the GFS idea. And then it cools off again after that. So it might be a couple of days of hot weather, but probably not enough to be considered an official heat wave, at least according to the GFS. Now we'll go ahead. And look at the dew points, because we will continue to deal with the humidity. You'll see dew points. See those winds right off the ocean. Those stuff keeps us cooler on Long Island, but dew points will be in this low 60s. So a little humid, and much more humid though inland, where you get this dew point pooling in Pennsylvania and a little bit of it upstate too. And then you see a lot more of that on Friday with that dew point pooling. It's going to be pretty uncomfortable inland, but not so bad along the coast. Thank God we're along the coast. And then here's that front coming through. Still got the humidity, and this could be the trigger for some thunderstorm activity Saturday. And then the front moves through on Sunday. We dry out, get those dew points down, and nice and low, 30s and 40s, and they stay that way until we see that next heat wave, the little bit of heat coming in for Thursday and Friday, next Thursday and Friday. And then it looks like it tries to bring a backdoor front through, and then a much stronger front comes through later on in the period. So I guess we'll go ahead and look at the clouds. I think like I said, we'll see plenty of clouds around, I think, We might start off clear tomorrow, but then these other clouds. There's going to be like a cirrus deck. This is just part of a little bit of that moisture coming up from the south, I think. It's going to be riding over us, especially Thursday. We're going to have a lot more clouds. Friday, too. Saturday, we'll see what happens, but I think we'll have more clouds than sun. And then Sunday, we can finally clear it out, and Monday, and it looks much better. Not going to go beyond that on the sky forecast. We can look at the NAM sky forecast as well. There is the NAM force. You see that Stratus coming in there. Oh, this is the 0Z run. We got to use the 18Z. I don't know enough of that in. So you can see that Stratus coming in, and then it comes off, but we have a lot of the cirrus coming in at the upper level. So I think there'll be more clouds tomorrow than today. I don't think we'll have a sunny sky tomorrow with those cirrus clouds, because if you look at the cloud, if we put this into high cloud fraction, you'll see there's high clouds too. It's not just low clouds that we're going to be dealing with tomorrow. So I don't think we'll have the sky that we had today. So hopefully you got a chance to enjoy it now. Thursday, a little less high clouds and maybe a little more of the low clouds. Maybe because the high clouds don't seem that all impressive on this. But if we let's look at the middle cloud. Maybe it's middle clouds. A few middle clouds, but I think it's mostly lower clouds that we're going to be dealing with on Thursday. Yeah, mostly lower clouds. Okay, so we'll go to the 12Z NAM, and we'll see what chances for precipitation we're going to have. And again, let's go to the 12 kilometer NAM. Let's go to the 18Z 12 kilometer NAM to see if there's any real precipitation that we're going to be dealing with. And you could see a little bit of it off to the west on Thursday, but I don't think we start seeing it until we get into Friday, where we start seeing that front get closer, and that could be the trigger. And that's as far out as we go on the NAM. So I'll just go to windy.com now that we'll look at the Euro and see, because it has a different idea, obviously. And now we've got to take a look at the European model for, this only goes out till, all right, so Tuesday. Let's see if it's going to show off that cutoff low. So we'll use this, let's see, clouds. It was showing that low. Let's see. All right, so here is Sunday. And it then develops this trough offshore, but it still has it offshore, so it must be an upper level feature, because I'm not seeing it on this, and this is the Euro. I'm not seeing it, but it would tend to keep the temperatures down. Let's see if the Euro is showing that heat. Alright, this is Thursday when the GFS says it would get hot. And the Euro is not showing it. Euro keeps us cool in the next week. So Euro probably has more of an upper level trough type of flow in the east. Keeps the trough around. Has Wednesday quite cool. Tuesday quite cool as well. So nice and cool next week on the Euro. We'll have to see what happens. Euro has it quite cool on Monday. Only in the 50s with a strong north wind. So Euro is more intense with the trough. Has more clouds around. Doesn't look like it has any rain, but it does have some instability cloudiness. So it wants to have, like I said, an upper level feature around. This would be Sunday, which looks like a nice Saturday. You're still dealing with that front that's going to be hung up. That hasn't come through yet. Originally, we were hoping to get it through, but you could see here, this is Friday, 3 p.m. You see Long Island in 60s. You're blazing in Jersey in the 80s. Here's Thursday. Same idea. Oh, this is stuck. This is not working. Online, click here to load app. Okay, we have an issue here. We're gonna have to reload it. All right. So I was like, what's going on? It all looks the same. But you see the general idea. Cooler on the island, hotter inland. So inland is not where you want to be. So I guess that's going to wrap up this weather update. It's going to be a little bit. The good news is I think that, like I said, we're avoiding the worst of the heat this week. But it will be somewhat humid and damp. But at least it's not brutally hot like the folks inland, especially upstate, are dealing with. So we can be grateful for that. So thank you for watching and take care.